same time. Happy Sunday to you too. What are you drinking this morning?
This morning we're drinking some sophisticated tea
Ooh.
with some Choco Supreme Milka biscuits.
I see. Should we dive right in or should we wait to the end to have one?
Dive in.
Let's dive in. Okay. So, as usual, what are we up to?
Today we're going to be talking about the Babysitters Club, The Truth About Stacey by Anne and Martin.
See. And our show, for those of you who haven't joined us as yet, it's called Let's Booksip. And essentially what we do is we talk about life through books. Yes. So as Nia said, our book of the day is, could you remind me of the title?
The Truth About Stacey.
What's it about?
It's about a girl called Stacey who is part of our Babysitters Club, hence the title, and they have a lot of babysitting jobs, and Stacey's also trying to manage her diabetes at the same time.
Diabetes. So she's a babysitter and she's managing her diabetes.
Yes.
So before we go into the details, what happens? What's the story essentially about? Is there an issue? Does something go wrong?
There is an issue. At the beginning of the story, or the book, Stacey talks about her life in New York and when she developed diabetes. And she used to have a friend called Lane. Lane and Stacey were best friends. But after she developed diabetes, Lane got jealous because Stacey got a lot of attention. And they had to reunite in December when Stacey visited the Cummings family, Lane's family.
So it's the truth about Stacey. What's the truth? Is it the truth is that she has diabetes?
Yes, and at the end of the book, she tells the club that she has diabetes.
Okay, so would you say the main theme is about jealousy, or is it, where's the action basically? What's happening?
I feel like the action is mainly on Stacey and her diabetes. There's not really much action in this book. It's just talking about the club, and each chapter what happened? They have a new babysitting job, and they describe what happened on the babysitting job, and in between those chapters they talk about Stacey and her diabetes.
Gosh, so many themes here. But first, do you understand what diabetes is?
Kind of.
Okay. What's your understanding of diabetes? Tell me.
So it's when someone eats too much sugar, and then their insulin
Nice.
her blood does not produce enough insulin.
Fantastic, Nia.
Her blood doesn't produce enough insulin to reproduce.
I think you're on the right track. You know what? This isn't a medical show, so I'm not going to get into the technicalities. We just use the word sugar, so I think it's all about how we manage our sugar levels. And if you had to give anyone a few tips, I know you're not a medical doctor, Nia, what would be your 2 tips to manage your body and insulin levels? What would you say to your followers when it comes to sugar?
So if you don't have diabetes, still don't eat that much sugar. I'm not a fan of sweets. I like chocolate more. Chocolate is healthier than sweets because it contains less sugar.
Is it?
Yes. And if you do have diabetes, make sure to take injections every day, which I think is what you're meant to do. And pay attention to your sugar levels, because if they get too high, you can get very sick.
Wow, I think we should call this show 10 Minutes with Dr. Nia. No, that's really impressive. I think you said it better than I could. It's really about watching what you eat, and if it's too late, as Nia said, make sure you manage your medication and take them accordingly. But let's get to the crux of the book, The Truth About Stacey. So she's a babysitter and she has lots of friends who are like rivals. Is it competition, who are envious of her? What is it?
Okay, so her friends in Babysitter's Club are Christy, Mary Ann and Claudia, and they are best friends ever since Stacey moved to Stony Brook. But her rival is Lane, who used to live in New York with Stacey, and they were best friends, but they became friends when Stacey went to visit Lane's family for Christmas.
I see. I like the word rival. I think that's going to be our discussion today. As I said, this wasn't planned, but the fact that you repeated the word rival, it makes me want to dive a bit deeper, and let's talk about that. Competition, rival. So how does one develop or have a rival? How do you think it starts in your world, from your perspective? This whole idea of having a rival, competition, and yeah, how does it begin?
Okay, so with my case, I don't really have a rival, but there's me and another girl in my class that we always get the same grades. We're always at the same levels and things, and that makes us feel competitive. With other cases, it might be that someone is jealous of the other person, or they're insecure about they feel, and they're envious about the other person.
Okay, so you could have a friendly rival. Is that sort of one category?
Frenemy.
Oh, it's called a frenemy. Okay, my vocabulary. We're going from medical vocabulary to everyday lingo. So a frenemy. So that's like the first case you explained. And then the second case is maybe someone you're not that close to who feels insecure about what they have.
You know them really well, but you're just not friends with them. You don't like their personality or how they treat you.
Okay. And how would you cope with category one? So category one is your very good friend. You're always at the same level and you enjoy that sort of rivalry.
You don't enjoy it. You try not to mention it since you still want to be friends, but you don't like always being the same in everything.
You want to be different.
Yeah.
So how do you manage that type of friendship when you're both acing your tests, you both have the same color pencil cases? You know, I'm just using a random example. How do you manage those types of friendships?
I usually since I still really want to be friends with the person, I try to stay quiet about it, but also try to avoid doing the same things since I don't like to be put under the same category as someone else.
You want to be unique.
Yes.
Yes, be yourself. Okay. And then we have the second category. You know them very well, but you're not that close to them, and you sense there's this level of competition. It's probably not
really competition. It's like when you meet someone and you get to know them, there's just, even though they're not mean to you, there's just that thing about them that annoys you.
Annoys you? Why does it annoy you?
It doesn't, there's not really a reason. It's just, I don't know how to explain.
But I see what you're trying to get at. It's just that thing. You can't put your finger on it. But how do you manage those scenarios? What do you do to ensure it doesn't?
I just avoid them so that I don't burst or something.
Okay.
Because they'll be really confused because there's no real reason.
See. So when you read the Babysitter's Club, The Truth About Stacey, were there any nuggets of wisdom? Were there any tips? Did you see how they manage their friendships? Or you can't take any leaves out their books, as we say, any advice from them? Would you stick to your own advice?
It's not really an advice. There's not really a moral or anything like that. It's just one of those type of books where they talk about people's lives, which I like. I like, especially with like Anne Frank or celebrities. I like learning about people's lives.
Real life stories, and this has been quite an eye-opener, I would say, even though we're doing more talking and listening than looking. I really enjoyed listening to you today, Nia, all about friendships and managing the not so straightforward challenges, which, you know, friendships,
Deliver.
yes, they do. So thank you very much. And on that note, we will end today's session. What should we ask our followers today? Have you ever felt like you had a friend that was competing with you, or a friend you would define as a rival, or maybe someone who wasn't your friend? How do you manage that, or how did you manage that, or how are you managing that? Drop us a comment, and of course, don't forget to like and subscribe to Let's Booksip. Thank you very much, and watch out for our episode 4. Do you know what we're going to be talking about? Which book?
Spectacular Superstar.
Ooh, finally, you drop a few teasers. Okay, we're looking forward. Thanks, Mia. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.